Hello everyone and welcome back to our 5-minute Bible study series. Today we're talking about Joshua chapter 16. I hope you had the chance to read the chapter. You should have, because I think it's only like 10 verses, isn't it? A little bit in contrast to the last chapter, which had 63 verses. But hopefully you've read the chapter. That's the way that these studies are intended to be done. Don't trust me as far as what I say, but read the text for yourself. But these are intended to help you understand and get your head around what you've read. Okay. You probably already know that. When did these events take place? You might already know this. Approximately 1450 BC is when the conquest of the land, or the Promised Land, happened by the Israelites, and it lasted for approximately 5 to 7 years. So we're in that time frame. Moving towards the end, because the land much of the land has been conquered and is now being divided up. And so that's what we've been talking about. Our main characters, first we've got Joshua. He's the leader of the Israelites. And then we're going to talk specifically in this chapter about the tribes of Ephraim and half the tribe of Manasseh. One half of Manasseh got their land already on the east side of the Jordan River. Now in this chapter we're going to talk about the half tribe of Manasseh that received their inheritance on the west side of the Jordan River. Manasseh and Ephraim were the two sons of Joseph, if you remember him back from the book of Genesis. Okay, now where are we on our map? We're told that the Israelites were camped at Gilgal. Joshua was there. Chapter 14, verse 6 tells us that. And then Joshua 16 is going to describe the land that was allotted to these two tribes, Ephraim and Manasseh. And our map on the next page will highlight the territory that they received. As we move over to our outline, you'll notice that it's short, like the last chapter, because we are going to rely heavily on our map to help us visualize the area where these two tribes received their territory. All right, so verses 1 through 10 is the entire chapter, and I've entitled this section, The Land Allotted to the Tribes of Ephraim and Manasseh. So Joshua 16 is entirely dedicated to explaining the borders of their land. So as we move down to our map, you'll notice that half the tribe of Manasseh got their land over on the right side of the Jordan River, and then the other half that we're talking about today is receiving it on the left side, or the west side. So I've entitled them Western and Eastern Manasseh. And then below them, between Judah's territory and Manasseh's territory, you'll see Ephraim's territory. So that's the general area that this chapter and all the names that are found in this chapter is outlining. All right. So now, a couple more things. The last 2 points on our outline. Let's talk about these. Verse 10 tells us that the people failed to drive out the Canaanites who lived in Gezer. Okay, instead of driving them out, they put them to forced labor. So they basically made them their servants. Now, as we mentioned in the last chapter, that's a problem that's going to bring up bigger issues in the future when we get into the book of Judges. And it's also a problem because it's a direct violation of what God had told the people to do. God specifically told the Israelites not to allow any of the Canaanites to remain in the land. Deuteronomy chapter 20, verses 16 through 18. All right, so now Ephraim, Manasseh, they have their territory, but problems persist. And that is that is Joshua chapter 16.